Hello, everybody. Welcome to Why Invest Wednesday, October 7th already. Um, Leaves are falling. Things are changing around. Temperatures a little cooler in the morning, things like that. Taking my daughter to school, we always have the sweatshirt on. And just a great time of year to get out. I know I've seen some new terminology, leaf peeping. That's kind of cool. I got to do some of that up in Vail a couple weekends ago at a wedding that I attended. So, yeah, it was good. As far as the real estate business goes, things are still going well. We had the DMAR market trends report come out here this week. We'll go over a few of those items and just kind of touch base on the numbers and see where we're going from here. Some good equity gains and things like that to talk about on that report. As always, we talk about where's this market going from here. I get questions about that daily, and we'll talk a little bit about that, maybe a couple of things that drive the economy and things like that as we go. So yeah, just a wonderful fall time here in the real estate market as the election approaches. Typically, we see a much bigger slowdown than we're seeing currently as we go. I do have a listing. It's, well, a couple listings that are well priced, super nice, that are just kind of hanging around. One's just the first week on. It's a condo, double master. It's a townhome, actually. Double master, well taken care of, open floor plan, granite countertops, well priced, and it's just slowing down just a little bit. We've had a good number of showings, good feedback, and so we're working on that a little bit. And my listing on Unity is still available, the former show home. That's more of a it's only 2 years old, and we're looking for top dollar because it was a show home, so all the cool paint and so on and so forth, all the finishes were top notch because they make those super nice so that people walk in there and buy their other homes, and then they kind of price out the upgrades, and they see that some of those upgrades are pricey. So that's just kind of more of a price and time thing. We'll get through that, and we'll get that sold as well. As for September, the numbers are in. Denver market is basically like a 10 county area, and we basically had a record number of closings for September as far as number of closings. So that's super cool. It's also crazy because our inventory for single family homes is just 950 off of the record all-time low in Denver. And as we know, Denver has grown so much that a sheer number, if it's a record all-time low, means that we're talking, several years back, we had some issue, we didn't have as many homes. So the fact that our inventory is approaching a record low while we had a record number of closings is cause for concern and continued inventory crisis. Like I said, so we had 5,850 closings in September. Currently, there are 5,301 single family homes. And again, this is the DMAR area. So the 10 county metro area that we talk about: Jefferson County, Denver, Douglas, Arapahoe, so on and so forth. Those major counties in the Front Range. So something to keep an eye on there. As inventory goes low, we all know that prices go up, demand goes up, and we see prices raise, which we are seeing currently. We may see some specific neighborhoods maybe bounce a little bit more than the 5% increase in appreciation that we're talking about. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how that turns out. And as we see, I did notice that there was 6,376 pending for October. So more homes sold are ready to sell in October than we sold in record September. So homes are moving, things are competitive. There are some things that are slowing down a little bit for the election. We'll kind of see how that goes over the coming days and weeks. Another thing I always get lately is, when are these foreclosures going to hit? When is this COVID going to catch up to us? And when are we going to see people that can't pay their bills? The honest truth is that our equity gain is so big. So if there are people that are having trouble, maybe lost a job, something like that, their equity is so big that in the 6 months they have to repair a foreclosure, someone, I hope, is telling them, hey, let's put your house on the market, not foreclose and lose all of that equity we've gained. On average, $17,000 in equity was gained over the last year in the Denver market. So that's huge. That leaves us with a very low 1.4% underwater number. That means a lot of things. Basically means your home is you owe more on your home than it's worth. With that said, if you can still make the payments, you can continue to fight that battle. If you can't make the payments and you're underwater, that's when foreclosures happen. So the fact that we only have 1.4% underwater is a sign to me that things are probably not going to end in foreclosure. Rather, maybe selling at market value to recapture some of that equity and kind of regroup on the other side. So again, that's just a question I get often. Foreclosures are just not always there in these weird times. As we know, we've had a very turbulent stock market year. I think I read somewhere that 5 of the most turbulent days in stock market history happened in the last 5 of the top 50 happened in the last year. So again, real estate is kind of a refuge. With that said, there's 3 things that drive our real estate market. Obviously, currently we're experiencing the millennials enter that first-time home buying market. That is the biggest generation of people that we have currently, and they're entering. So that's almost 9 million people entering the real estate market. And not all of them are going to be convinced that renting is better than buying. So as we move forward, that will continue to push our market. Interest rates are at a record all-time low. 10 times we've seen the lowest interest rate in history. That's huge. And the last thing we have is, what is it? I forgot what it is. So we have interest rates, generation, and home. As we know, our home has become our restaurant, our gym, our classroom, our office, sometimes all of our offices. And so the home is becoming more and more important, and people are willing to spend more and more of their income on home. Some people are needing to get a bigger home because they're there as much. They have 2 or 3 kids that are doing school at least part-time at home. They have a spouse and themselves working from home. So home has always been where the heart is, per se, but now it's where everything lives. Our safety, our entertainment, and everything's there. So people are really buckling down and making sure that their home is set up as they need. Whether that's refinancing and making improvements, changing things around, or selling their home and getting into something that now works with our need to have a multifaceted home. So all that stuff with COVID and all that we're going through with this pandemic is definitely pushing the real estate market in ways that we haven't seen before as much. So continue to keep updated on that. Watch out for this election and kind of see how it changes things. I think by spring, regardless of the outcome of the election, we probably will still be experiencing low interest rates. There's no way we will rebound from our inventory shortage in the Front Range in that short of time, and people will start to trust and be ready to go. As I saw on Nicole Ruth's update, savings accounts have doubled over the last year, partially because there's all that stimulus that's been punched into the economy, partially because we can't spend it on travel and going to sporting events and things like that. So savings accounts doubling mixed with low interest rates allow for more of a crazy spring, I think, as we move forward, because people are going to be putting that money into something that they believe will continue to grow. And as they look back at the 2020 disaster that is 2020, they will have more trust in the real estate as we have obviously increased. And don't forget that we were headed for a recession prior to COVID, and COVID hit and just kind of sped us into the recession, and some of the stimulus kind of sped us out of the recession. So keep an eye on that. People will look back and notice, the money they lost in the stock market that's come back and gone away. And, it's just been very turbulent in that. And I'll also see that real estate was very solid. As we know, people need a place to live at all times. So that's this week's Why Invest Wednesday. We're just talking about what's going on, how things are moving. We'll continue to update. It may seem like some of this information is repetitive, but the numbers are all different, but we're still continuing to increase. We will see a 5% increase in the metro area in appreciation across the board this year. As we move into 2021 and more consumer confidence continues to build, I think we're in for a really crazy spring season, which I've always joked starts in January in Colorado real estate. So keep an eye out for that. If you are considering purchasing, trying to play the interest rate game, make sure you're paying attention to obviously vaccines. And as the market starts to really recover and calm down a little bit, that's when our rates are going to tick up. If you are able to buy and the time is now, do it. If not, and we talk about the interest rates going up, they're not going to be at 7-8%, but they're going to be higher than they are now, which will affect your affordability out of the gate. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you are staying healthy out there. Hope you're hanging out with friends and family and staying well. So we'll talk to you soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.